All right, welcome to my FX Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there are multiple mediums on which you can interact with this content, but my favorite way is the blog, which is located at myfxbuddies.blogspot.com, but that's a lot to type in or too much to remember, so wherever you are engaging with this content, look for a prompt of more info, intro, description, something of that nature. You click on that and either link to my FX Buddies blog is going to come up, or the link itself will be there. And the blog is free. You don't have to put your email address in. And ordinarily, I'm not selling anything. And this time, I'm not technically either, but I have talked about a coin that's in pre-sale. So that's kind of like a sale, but it's temporary because the pre-sale ends November 15th. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say about that. This time, I want to thank you for the thumbs up in the yesterday's update. I was practically whispering, so this one, it's earlier. Even though it's earlier than I'm recording, it may not upload, right? So this is news for Monday, November 3rd, but it may show November 4th on your, device or whatever. And it's going to be a short one, really, because there is a lot of news, right? But it has nothing to do with what we're waiting for. That supposedly some, I don't want to say historic, but important water deal was done. But even that, there's like all this speculation around it. Oh, what did you have to give up? And I'm sure it's because it's election time, but they're questioning. And Sudani didn't even broker the deal. Fuad Hussein, I think, brokered the deal. But, they're going to blame Sudani, right? So there's lots about the water. Even the new envoy guy, he's saying congratulations. It's a good deal. Let's see. Of course, more election stuff. And, I did have the article. This is definitely the first one where they're not gonna do the blue ink. It is in writing. I don't have it here, but post-production, if I can find it again, I'll put it there, because I had been telling you guys that because they've been saying it on the TV, but there had not been an article. Well, today an article came out. They have a name for that ink. Indelible? Is that a word? Indelible ink? But whatever. But they're going to facial scanning. Alright? But yeah, so that is, they're just gearing up. They put the highest alert of security, which is level C. They're going to be on that from now until the day after the elections. There was a source, right? A source that said starting Wednesday, there was going to be like a holiday hours, work hours, until the day after the elections, but that hasn't been confirmed by like someone who's willing to put your name on it. No, someone who's willing to say, I work in the blah 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 ministry, and yes, we have called a holiday. They call it, they don't say holiday, they say disrupting normal working hours or something like that, right? But so it's stuff like that, right? Which is why I only have a few articles that I'm going to go over. But this was actually an interview. Reuters, and I don't know if it's like the regular Reuters or Reuters Middle East. You know how some of the sites, they have areas of specific focus. So, but look, the Sudanese president declares it openly. I want a second term. But the title that I have here is Second Term Ambition, Sudani's Push for Control, Stability, and Growth. So it's very interesting. He stressed his desire to obtain a second term, and he lists a lot of the accomplishments, things that have happened under his term, right? His 3 years, 4 years, whatever it is. So here he's saying is, does not exist, security and stability exist, right? So yeah, he talks about the pew-pews and them being laid down. Yeah, so very bold, at least the way that these statements, which I'm scrolling down if you're looking on your device, I'm scrolling down. He talks about power and electricity, how much he brought during his time, and the deals that he did, right? Okay, so let's get down to the bottom. He says, regarding the elections, we expect a big win, and we want to continue on this path, adding that he desires a second term. Oh, and I wanted to say, it says president, and he's the prime minister, but over there, they have 3, sometimes 4 presidential positions. So this new judge, Zaidan, I call him Judge Z, he's Iranian backed, right? Why is he the Supreme Council Judge of Iraq? You tell me. But he has even been brought in to some of the quote-unquote presidential conversations. So where they used to have 3 positions, now in the last, I'd say 6 months, now they say 4 and they include him. So even though Sudani is the prime minister, sometimes they'll call him president. The president is always the president, right? And the House Speaker, sometimes they'll call him president, even though he's the House Speaker. So there was some confusion on that, and I wanted to clear that up. Okay? All right. So here is the last sentence. And these are like, it's not cohesive. It's not like a written article. It's like a list of this is what I did during this government. This is what happened. So here's the last one. He concluded by saying, I'm not worried about Iraq's financial and economic situation. Iraq is a country rich in resources. But my concerns are about the delay in implementing reforms. And I say, yeah, I bet he is concerned. Because, we're November 4th, 7 days away. And I don't think they're going to change the rate in these last 7 days. And like I said, it's being used as leverage. All right, so he had yet another meeting. Sudani stressed the importance of cooperative relations and fruitful economic partnerships with Arab countries. And let's make this, I don't recognize any of the people here. Yeah, so not sure. It may say who they are. It does. Chairman of a real estate development company. Oh, you know what? Maybe that's the only. You see how simple my mind is? I thought maybe each one of those people were representing a different entity or a different country. But maybe they're all with that real estate development country. But here's the word implementation. Lots of implementation. I like. All right. So it closes. According to the statement, Sudani stressed the importance of fruitful economic cooperation and partnerships with brotherly Arab countries and strengthening investment bridges to achieve sustainable development and ensure shared economic prosperity. So see, they all want that. They're all waiting for this because it's going to boost them, right? Even if it doesn't boost their currency rate, the new laws will be passed, and all of these memorandums of understanding and everything that have been waiting, they can move forward and they'll all be building. There was another... Oh, I have the article. Yeah, there's the article. All right, so here, if you'd like to support my FX buddies, these are the way. I put the little banner here for the coin. If you'd like to check it out, you just click there. And then, yeah, big or small, I appreciate it all. Thank you in advance for your generosity. For time's sake, I'm gonna, I usually say more about that, but this should be short, okay? So, there was a new Gazette out, but there's nothing in it. The Ministry of Finance did include a statement, but it's about customs. And here is, this link will be an article, and then in the article, it links to, this is what their Gazette looks like. The front page is the regular normal Gazette. That's what it looks like. So they're up to 48.46, and we still haven't seen 47.82. And yeah, I couldn't get this to move over. I don't know. I tried all the little tricks that I know, and I just can't. I don't know what the deal is, but customs, so that's what's cut off for your view. It says Customs Decision Number 6 of 2025, issued by the Ministry of Finance. All right, so that's the latest on the Gazette, and you can go. It comes up in Arabic, but it's very easy to translate to English. But that cover page that I show you, that will not translate to English. And then you have to download it. And it downloads in Arabic, but you just copy and paste. Normally, they make it copy and paste if you want to see it for yourself, to confirm that it doesn't have the rate or anything in there. All right, so you guys know I give a rip about this port, and I can never tell, is that a real picture? Is it done? Or is that what it's gonna look like? And what is this? Oh, those are clouds. Okay, so this must be like from an airplane or a drone. Can drones go above the clouds? I don't think so. I don't know, but whatever. So that's what it looks like now, or it's going to look like. But the reason I wanted to post that was Sudani had some things to say. This port grants Iraq a unique opportunity to become a pivotal hub for global transportation. And now see, they've been working on this for quite some time, and it was stagnant. Remember, if you listened to yesterday's, it said stagnant, right? Twice, I think, but it was about the banking reform. And here again, they're using it. He pointed out that the project represents the cornerstone of realizing the government's vision of making Iraq a link between East and West. And that is what that port is going to do. You see, it had waterways for the ships to come and then unload and then leave, and then they can drive up. And that port, I think, Don't quote me on it, because I tell you guys, I skip these articles. I just post them because I know there's people out there that like to read these articles. Yeah, see? This is a tremendous advantage that places Iraq at the heart of international trade. He further explained that the integration of the railway system within the Fa port and its overland connection to neighboring countries will make Iraq a key link in the global transportation network. This advantage is very rare among the world's ports. So then it will go up to the development road project. See there? So the whole bottom half of Iraq, right? That's what it seems like it's going to be. But it could just, I'm not very good at vision. So that's it. See, I told you it was short. So I thank you for watching. Sorry, I did want to say, I wanted to ask a question. Oh, but I didn't put the article there. So there's an article that we opened a joint base with Qatar. Is that, I don't know military stuff. Lots of military people in my family, but I've never been in it. Is that something out of the normal to have two countries share a base? Or it's like frequent, not extremely rare? Yeah, so post-production, there'll be two articles if I can find them. The one that says we'd have a joint base, it's probably actually Qatar's base, but they let us move some of our people there, right? And what was the other one? About the ink. Let me make a note. Ink not being used. Yeah, so, and I kind of, well, I think up here I had told you guys, if, there's lots of ifs, right? So if this doesn't happen during New Rate November, there's a 2% chance it can happen in December. And why do I say that? Because when they devalued, when they devalued the currency to the 1310 that it is right now, they did that in December, the last week of December, which makes sense because their fiscal year is the calendar. So January they start new, right? It would make sense to do a new rate, start with a new rate. But and that's normally how I go every year, for those of you who don't know me. But because they've thrown in the election this year, it's a little different. So if the elections are contested, then that's why I put it out to March, because the representatives are who the people vote for. Then they pass. If there's nothing contested, they are the government. Then they go and they vote for the prime minister. And if I'm not mistaken, that can be contested as well. They basically shut down in December. Remember, they don't do, banking is cut down to very minimal, because why? They're doing year-end bookkeeping. And even that, the work hours are cut, because even though the whole country does not celebrate Christmas, they celebrate New Year's really big. So the last 2 weeks of December is spent preparing for New Year's Eve. So they're not going to be doing too much work during that time, right? Yep, so then that kicks us into January, where they could maybe work quickly, where they have said that they want to form the next government quickly. We shall see. But, what is it? General accounting principles. If you're going to make large changes, you make them at the beginning of a quarter. So, you're already in January. Stretch it out to March, which would be the end of the first quarter. So, but that's worst case scenario, okay? And that I put things out like that so you'll be prepared, right? You're not constantly waiting, constantly going up and down, up and down. Oh, it's going to happen. I hope it happens. Yes, I hope it happens every day too. But at the same time, I know there's a possibility that it won't. And I make sure that I have rent and food and bills, right? Okay, so I hope that cleared that up for some people. So don't get down. I'm still claiming this new rate November, right? So, yeah, we live our life as if this is never going to happen, but we're ready if it happens tomorrow, which I don't think it's going to be tomorrow, but anything could happen, right? All things are possible. All right. So thank you. What is it? Accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. Thank you for all the comments. Thought-provoking, encouraging. Yeah, we need this. The world needs this. We really do. And, of course, as always, I'm going to ask you to hit the thumbs up. Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame you are indulging in this content. And until next time.